In recent years, the engineering and facility planning firm Salas O'Brien has been among the most acquisitive businesses in our industry. It currently has 50 offices and 1,250 employees, who include 320 registered professionals. Leading this charge is its chairman and CEO, Darin Anderson, who joins us today to discuss where his company is headed. Welcome, Darin.
Thanks, Sean. Great to be here.
Darin, your company has a be local everywhere business model. Can you explain that strategy of growth to our audience?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. So our approach is really simple: is that we want to be instrumental and leader to all of our communities, not just on a national basis, but on a local basis. So our decision making is very decentralized. We empower our people to make the right decisions for their clients every day. There's not some bureaucratic decision making process. I trust and believe and hire what I consider to be the most exceptional talent, people who are entrepreneurs, who are great technical leaders, and who want to make decisions for the best interest of the organization and for the client, and they also have that consideration on a local basis. So we very much operate on a that local everywhere decentralized basis, empowered decision making for all of our team members.
hmm Your company's June 29th acquisition of SII Solutions brought to 14 the number of companies that Salas O'Brien has bought or merged with since 2019. What do you look for in a potential acquisition, and how does your company integrate and operate newly acquired companies?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I would say we've been very fortunate to find organizations. First and foremost, I would say all but one of our we call them mergers from a philosophy of partnership, even though legally they're acquisitions, and we are approaching companies that aren't looking to sell. The simple story is that we look for organizations that are really, really good at what they do. They fit our strategy and strategic kind of growth areas. So they're typically in market niches that we want to excel in or get better in or gain more leadership and market expertise. And so we target those firms based on kind of a select criteria that they usually have very strong governance. They're very active in their organizations. They're not looking to retire. So we're looking for a lot of these characteristics where strong organizations have proven success, great track record of performance and longevity of relationships, not just with their clients, but also with their team members.
hmm
So those are the characteristics that make the most sense for us. And then at the end of the day, it's like, are we a stronger and better organization? And are we creating more opportunities for all of our team members in the organization than we did before? We never let anybody go. It's always supposed to be a lifting up of other people around us. And if we also then share the same characteristics, the same values in the way we treat people. We kind of go through a journey and a process of discovery of one another. Do I know the way they think? Or is it consistent with who we are as an organization? Do they love and are they passionate about what they do? One of those things where they just can't imagine not working in the organization. And if they have these kind of similar characteristics than we do, then we step forward and we do a thorough analysis and we put together a competitive proposal, which includes significant, usually equity in Salas O'Brien together. My
hmm
mindset is that we have to be of the same mindset and we have to have the same financial interests and aligned financial interests together. That to me makes me sleep well at night, knowing that I've got people who are committed as I am. I know how they think. I know how they care for their people. I know they're fully committed to our organization's success and that they want to continue to make decisions on a local basis and for us to grow as a total company. And
hmm
usually that we've found, in every case, we found that we now get access to better projects and that collaborating together, we are finding that we're winning more projects. Our success rate goes up even further, and where the team members like to get, instead of usually sometimes smaller mid-sized organizations don't get to compete maybe at the larger level with major or global organizations with the biggest projects. And so this gives them the opportunity to compete, I would say, at the highest level, where oftentimes they get marginalized out of competitive situations.
Got it.
Make sense?
hmm Are there areas of the country or certain disciplines your firm still needs to fill through acquisition? And if so, can you elaborate?
Yeah, sure. So it's funny you say that. We, I would say first and foremost, is that yes, strategically there are market niches that we are focusing on enhancing or developing further, I would say data center, telecom, healthcare, life sciences, pharma, science and tech, higher ed, even K-12, DoD kind of space,
Hmm.
utilities. Those are, I would say, our fundamental niches that we are trying to grow and expand and to be virtually the number one, number two in those areas. I would say food and industrial manufacturing and food and beverage as well are two other markets. With that being said, is that we are growing to be, I would say, really, really strong influencers in those spaces. So I care less about the geographic location. I care more about the leadership. I care more about the clients and the people that are in those organizations than anything else. So for me, it's a talent, kind of talent acquisition, if you want to say, so that I'm strengthening our team, strengthening the leadership, bringing incredibly capable, dedicated talent in those markets. If they happen to be in geographies or regions that we don't already have a presence in, that helps reinforce our local everywhere, where our clients, which are usually are growing now in the national and national and even global in scope, they've got operations everywhere. So it allows us to be more cost effective to our clients, and we can do field work. We can be on site and helping them more quickly and more cost effectively. So, but it's for us, it's always about the people, always about the leadership. Do they fit in strategically with what we're trying to achieve? And then is there the values and the character and the fit from an organizational perspective? And do they make decisions similar to the way we do from an organization and a governance perspective? And so when we see all of those characteristics and values and the care and the passion that we exhibit, then that's a good fit for us. And then there's got to be the reasonableness. Does it make sense for us, together financially? Do they have commitment and enthusiasm for what we're doing? And if all of those characteristics are there, then we're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. You and your company's president, Paul Silva, are also principals in a private equity firm called Bridge Equity Partners. Is there any nexus between Bridge and Salas O'Brien, and do you see it as a competitive advantage to have that connection?
Yeah, I know. So Bridge Equity Partners, Paul Silva and Chuck O'Neill and I have been partners in this for, oh my gosh, over 20 years probably now.
Yeah.
And we have invested in a few organizations over the years, and they've all done well. And Salas O'Brien has been one of those that we've invested in together. And so I would say, because of the three of us and our passion and our approach, is that has been very helpful. I think that helped drive Salas O'Brien's success. With that being said, is that I think I need to give an appropriate reach out. Is that we just did a recapitalization last year and invited an outside private equity firm and the state of Wisconsin to invest in Salas O'Brien. We were an ESOP company for 5 years until October of last year, and we terminated the ESOP for very strategic reasons I can explain. But as part of that process, we invited in Caltius, which is a smaller private equity firm in Los Angeles that I've known those principals for 8-9 years, and I have high confidence and trust in them and their approach. They've been great partners for us, and I know them as people and their values. That was really important for us to not change the characteristics of how we run our business, but just to enhance it. And then the state of Wisconsin is a kind of co-investor partner with them as well. So they have been great supporters, helping us, I would say, even improve kind of just considerations, resources. So that we terminated the ESOP for 2 reasons. The ESOP was a great structure. We were basically a for-profit organization wrapped in a non-tax-paying organization, which was incredible. We were 100% ESOP. It's amazing. With that being said, is that it became more challenging for us. Our growth rate really started to accelerate from a merger perspective. We found that we were finding great talent and people that were really appreciative of our environment. And so our merger activity, as we built the systems and the people to handle this growing activity, in addition to the organic growth, is that the ESOP was a little limiting for us. From the simple perspective is that the ESOP can only issue debt. I should say an ESOP organization can only issue debt to fuel some of its investment activity.
I see.
And I wanted to make sure that that never got out of balance. And so that was one component of why I needed to make sure we could issue additional equity so that we were never, I would say, strained or didn't have the financial resources that we're to continue our strategic investments. Two is that as we were reaching out to these merger partners and just our own employee owners, particularly the merger partners, they're saying, Darin, I love and believe in what you're doing and the vision for Salas O'Brien and our future together. But I'm a material owner in our organization. And if I come into Salas O'Brien that you're an ESOP company, I don't get any ownership immediately. All I get is these little dribbles of ownership each year. And so they're like, I don't want to go from having meaningful ownership to having no ownership in an organization that I'm really excited about. So it was it just wasn't a correlation between having that conviction of employee ownership, and it wasn't correlated enough with their meaningfulness of ownership in Salas O'Brien. So we undid the ESOP and moved back to a direct ownership model. We rolled all of the shares from the ESOP into a profit sharing plan, so they continue to be employee shareholders. And then we converted some of the ESOP debt and the merger debt that from the mergers that we've done, and 50% of those notes went back into the equity of the organization because everybody believes in what we're doing. So it's worked out very, very well, and now we have more fuel to carry out mergers when we deem them necessary. We have no mandate for growth. Our goal is to be the most respected engineering firm in the world, and that we don't just grow for the sake of being larger. We do it when it makes sense for us, when both organizations become stronger and better, and when we're creating more opportunities for everybody. And if we don't see that, or our values aren't aligned totally, and there's not passion and conviction together for what our mission and purpose is, then we simply pass. It's just not that important to us. It's more important that we do everything right, and that our reputation is outstanding, and the quality of the work that we do is paramount. I want our clients and customers to be our biggest advocates every day of what we do, and to share the gospel about Salas O'Brien. Is that I love the people that they're working with. I can't imagine trusting anybody else than our team, and having a great experience at it.
That leads to my last question about, if we were going to have this conversation 5 years from now, what do you envision the size and scope of your company to be? And in other words, what are your aspirations?
Yeah, it really centers around having the most. We want to change the world. I mean, that sounds so cliche, but our goal is really to be the most respected engineering firm in the world. And part of that is by making a difference in our local communities. We want to be a leader nationally in moving the conversation about clean energy, about healthy buildings, making our communities safer at the end of the day, and making sure that they're working properly and they're energy efficient. And I would say, that we have the biggest advocates in our clients, that the most talented engineers in the world want to come to Salas O'Brien because they know they're going to be celebrated. They know they're going to be working on the most technically challenging projects. They're going to be rewarded, and they're going to be employee owners in our organization and participating in the growth of the value of our shares as well. And for me, I think that's kind of the holy grail, is that if we can be that destination employer organization, whatever our size is, fantastic. That's I know we've done the right thing. So the answer to your question is that yes, we'll continue to grow. We'll continue to do mergers when it makes sense. Today we're over a $300 million a year organization. I would expect in 5 years we'll be at least double that.
Do you anticipate international growth?
I do. Yeah. So we're already, I would say, we are in Canada already today. But to go overseas, if you want to say, yes, I would say that'll happen within 5 years. We've got a lot of growth still within North America for sure. But I see within 5 years, we've already started developing relationships with firms over there. It hasn't been a compelling story for us yet, but some of our global organizations are asking us to do more work overseas. So I see that being the next logical step for us. But again, it's only only when we find the right people, the right leaders, the right talent to do it. Right? It's just growth for growth's sake is meaningless to me. It's doing it right and being very thoughtful and strategic about it, and having the right people I sleep well at night knowing that they share the same values and the same dedication that the rest of our leaders have.
Darin, thanks for taking the time to speak with us about your company and where it's headed. I wish you good luck in the remainder of the year and with your future endeavors.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate the time today. Hopefully, it's been given some perspective anyway what Salas O'Brien is all about.
And this is John Caulfield from Building Design and Construction. Thanks for joining us.